Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, anywhere you are in the world right now. Hope you guys are having a great day. 2 days, 2 days to go until, it's on the reverse, until Arsenal are back. Arsenal! When you look into the camera, it's like on the reverse side, that's why. Not till Adidas are back, till Arsenal are back, and I cannot wait. And really looking forward to the game. It's down by the Emirates today, actually. Doing some filming, and it was brilliant. And met up with some of the guys today. Met up with troops today. Socially distanced. Claude I saw for the first time, without it being on screen. Ty I saw for the first time, and actually driving around today in London, had a sort of feeling that things are kind of starting to get back to normal. There's a lot of people around on the streets, even like down on Holloway Road, and that, it was really busy. So, yeah, it was good to see that. And of course, in 2 days' time, football is going to be back in the Premier League. And interestingly, Mikel Arteta doing a press conference today. That's when you start to realise that football is coming back, when you see press conferences. Even though it wasn't your regular press conference where, they got the loads of mics in front of them and a packed room with people asking them questions. It was done in front of the dodgiest green screen you've ever seen. I tell you, man, Arsenal need to fix up their green screen game. They might have to give Mark Goldbridge a call to get him to sort out a green screen. But all jokes aside, Arteta speaking on a number of topics, and I'm going to run through a few of those, and then I'm going to throw it open to you guys just to find out how you're feeling ahead of the game that's going to be taking place in 2 days' time. Arsenal versus Manchester City. By the way, check out the preview that I did with Stephen McKinney. Great little interview we've done today from his esteemed company. He's a massive Manchester City fan, runs a City channel, and we were discussing the game. And do you know what? After speaking to him, maybe the confidence that I had has gone down a bit, because, City are up for it. They're ready. They've literally got every injured player back, fit, rearing to go. So it should be a really great game on Wednesday night. But Mikel Arteta in his press conference had a lot of things to say, starting actually on the fitness of the squad. He said, so far, everybody is okay. These are all his quotes. He said, we'll see how training goes tomorrow to pick the right team and the right squad. It's going to be different with the number of substitutes we have on the bench and the number of changes we can make. We have to think about how we can do that. So he's feeling very optimistic about the squad. He said everybody's fit. Does that include Cedric? Is Cedric fit? But he's also very enthusiastic about coming up against Pep Guardiola, of course, who he was there for 3.5 years at Manchester City under. He's very enthusiastic about coming up against him. He was asked that question about what it's going to be like coming up against Pep for the first time. And he said he was an influence for me since I was 15 when we met in Barcelona as players. Then obviously in my coaching career and personal life, he has been an enormous influence. And he went on to say, if I have to talk about a person he is, his values, how he has treated me and how he deals with players and staff around him, it's phenomenal. As a coach, I learned so much from him. We spent some amazing moments together, some difficult moments as well. The experience next to him has been incredible. So bigging up Pep Guardiola there was what you'd expect. What we want him to do is overturn Pep Guardiola. That's going to be easier said than done. He was asked about the friendlies. He said it was nice. It was a nice practice for us to get a feeling on what it's like to compete again in a match, how it feels to play without crowds. The protocol we have to go through to be in a safe environment and physically. And yes, because we didn't play a game of football in over 3 months, we wanted to play some minutes. We managed to do that without any injuries. So he said that was really, really positive, and asked a lot more questions. He was asked about the fans, there being a lack of fans in the game. He's definitely saying that that's going to be make a massive, massive difference. But the most interesting thing that he was asked about and that he spoke about was on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and the whole contract situation. And these are his quotes on that are very interesting. And he says, Mikel Arteta, he says, I think it's our responsibility to make him feel this is the right next step in his career. In order to do that, he needs to feel valued, that he belongs to us and that we want him. And then he needs to continue to believe that we can take this club forward in a way we want, and that he's going to be a key player to do that. I think at the moment, I'm extremely happy with how he has been performing and behaving. I think I've got a really good relationship with him where we can discuss face-to-face a lot of things. So as far as I'm aware, I think he is happy at the club. He then went on to say further about the Aubameyang contract. He said, in a different context, we'd like to have got things done much quicker. We were really tight with time and communication, and obviously these unprecedented times bring a lot of uncertainty. These are getting clearer and clearer every day, he said on that. And then he also said, went on to say that he's feeling very positive about Aubameyang signing a new deal. So that is good news. Said that, you know, he's got a good relationship with Aubameyang's agent, his family, and he seems quite confident that Aubameyang will sign a new deal. And it was interesting yesterday that Aubameyang, in an interview, had said that, you know, basically the ball's in the court of, you know, Arsenal, make it sort of seem like he wants to sign as well. So if Arteta wants to get it done, seems like Aubameyang wants to get it done. Why ain't it done? Get it done. Get this guy signed up. You know, sign it up now. I mean, even these things they're saying, what he was saying about the coronavirus has delayed the whole thing. I would have thought, if anything, that could have given them more time to have sorted it all out. You know? But I don't know what you guys think. Do you, after hearing those words from the press conference, think to yourself that this deal's going to get done now? You know, because it seems like, you know, what Arteta's saying there, that there's no real problems. It should get done. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to get done? Let me know what you think in the comments. Really, really interesting to hear from you. Let's get into some of your comments right now as well. Lemon Squash says, yo, Salter Robbie, I think we will beat City because Arteta has one thing Pep doesn't have anymore, and that's hair. Well, if hair was the only thing to it, he'd be looking good. But unfortunately, there's a lot more to it than hair. Ryan says, hi, Dunsalton and Your Majesty, Duke Robbie. Do you think Saliba can be our starting centre-back next season? He could, of course he can. We've invested a lot of money in him. But, you know, let's take our time with this kid. I keep saying that. Let's slow down. He's going to have to, you know, Premier League is different to the French League, especially as a defender. So he's going to have to grow into it. Phil says, hey, Robbie, do you think we should give Aubameyang the same amount of wage as Ozil? No, I don't think, listen, at the moment we can't afford that, can we? So we can't, he deserves that wage because basically, you know, I mean, if Ozil's on it, he should be getting the same. So he deserves that wage, but I kind of got the feeling that Arsenal want to reduce down the wages they're paying, and even like that top line of wage what they play, they probably want to make that less. So I think they will resist giving him that much, but certainly he's on 200 at the moment. Certainly he's got to be 250, 300 at least. You know what I mean? Jeff says, announce Aubameyang new contract. Well, we would all love to see and hear that. Mohammed says, I think Arsenal will get destroyed even though I'm an Arsenal fan. Oh, well, it's nice that you're confident about us getting a result there at City. However, Nidu says, Don Robbie, we will beat City. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. I hope you're right, bro. It would be, listen, nobody's expecting us to beat City. If we could, it'd be huge. Nathan Roy says, Robbie, remember your Neymar story? I laughed the same when I heard this press conference. We will forever be a banter club under Kroenke. It does seem, when you listen to what's being said by the two parties, manager's saying, happy with this guy, would love him to sign, we've got a great relationship, everything's hunky-dory. Players saying, happy playing at Arsenal, enjoying it there, I'm waiting on the club. Where's the offer? I've been saying this from time, that this is the thing that worries me, is have Arsenal put an offer on the table for him. And it seems like they haven't yet because of COVID-19. But yet we see other, Chelsea are doing deals and stuff like that, and other players are getting contracts. Why? This is the most important deal for this club right now. Why ain't it been done? Get it done, man. It would be lovely if before the game against City, it was announced that he signed a new contract. How great would that be? Asher 2 says, hello, Robbie. Press conference was positive. I don't think any negative. I don't find any negative I recall. Hope Aubameyang and Saka will sign a new deal. And yes, with Arteta, we can go forward and do well. He's a positive man. And, certainly, speaking to Stephen McKinney today from Esteemed Company, when we've done the preview, obviously he knows Arteta inside out. And he said that, the City fans are a bit disappointed that he's left because they really did think he played a big role in their success. Obviously it's Guardiola, but they think, that he was a integral part of that. So they're very disappointed that he's gone, and they think he's going to do well as a manager. Dank97 says, thanks for the daily shows, Don Robbie, your inspiration. Hope we get to see more when the games begin. It's my dream to watch a match alongside you if you can. Live stream your reaction. Big up. Yeah, listen, we will be doing a watch along, so make sure you check that out. We're going to be doing a watch along for the game. We're going to be interviewing fans afterwards. If you want to have your match reaction, and two things. If you want to film yourself watching the game and send us your reaction to any goals we score or anything, right? You can send that into AFTVcontent at gmail.co.uk. Right, that's AFTVcontent@gmail.co.uk. You can also send in what you thought of the game once it's finished, right? Don't make it too long. Keep it about 30, 40 seconds long. Send that in after the game. We'd love to get you guys involved, wherever you are watching the game. SF says, your honest prediction against City. I think we could get a draw, I can't see us winning. Can't see us winning, if I'm being honest. Such a difficult game to start with, and it's such a good team with so many good players. I mean, when you talk about squad, they just got an unbelievable squad. But I could see a draw. I could see a draw. Pirate King says, Robbie, what do you do with the ham roll after the Bias Premier League show? It goes on its way to the person who's got that. And by the way, Bias Premier League show will be returning in full effect this week. So make sure you check those out. Vincent says, I love how the City game is not in our favour. It will put less pressure on the boys and allow them to perform. # come on you Gunners. Hopefully, there's a lot of things that, will be out of the ordinary for both teams. And, Mikel Arteta touched on it in his press conference that there being no fans, he goes, there being no fans is really, really, really going to really make a difference. Because he was saying that, the energy, you know what I mean? So, for instance, you're attacking in a game and your fans are roaring you on, and that's going to be gone. So, yeah, it's a crazy situation for both teams, and you never know, could work in our favour. Pav says, "Hi Don Robbie, have you seen the stuff with Rants today? The video you did with him, people didn't like what he said, and now he's parted ways. No, I haven't seen nothing like that." Next, Helger says, Aubameyang, sign the contract. Call Saka while you're there, Aubameyang. Definitely. Glenn Kitely, apologies for that. He says, why not? I think he's talking about us being able to win the game. Otamendi and Stones versus Aubameyang, we always have a chance. We've got to get out of that defence. The problem is having the ball for long enough to get at that defence. But certainly Otamendi, Stones, their defence, even Zinchenko, not the strongest. I mean, they're not rubbish. They're good, and the Uruwita talk about defences right now, but they are a defence that can be got at. We've seen it this season. Norwich did it. Man United did it in the last game just before the lockdown when they beat them. So they are a bit vulnerable at the back. Casual Swim says, hi, Lord Robbie. Why don't we offer Aubameyang a coaching gig post playing so he and his family are set up for life in London? Well, listen, the type of money you probably get, he's probably set up for life already. Just give him a good contract to play. Forget about the coaching and that at the moment. We want the guy on the pitch scoring goals. Cookie Padam says, Don Robbie, love your work. You think Upamecano and Saliba will solve our frailties? Well, certainly it'd be an exciting pairing for the future. The one thing I look at both of those players, they're still very young. They'll get better. They'll get much, much better. But they've still got a lot to learn. So, but wow, it'd be exciting to see those, wouldn't it? Drill Boss says, hey, Robbie, I'm hearing Upamecano is about to sign and agreed, and Thomas Partey the same. I've seen those rumours. As I said, let's not get carried away. They're rumours. And how many rumours do we hear every day? I think those deals are both far, far from being done. So I wouldn't buy into what you're reading, unfortunately. Disband says, good evening, Robbie. I think Aubameyang's contract will be signed very soon. And that's a very good news for us. Play 3-4-3 at the back against City. Okay. Against City, and hit them on the counter with Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Laka as the three. The counter-attack is what's worked for a lot of teams against City. Do we have a good enough defence, though, to do that? Because the counter-attack, what a lot of these teams have deployed, has meant that for long periods of the game, City have had the ball, right? And City have been on the attack, and then it's like, win the ball back, spring the counter. To do that, we're going to have to defend well. You saw it in the game against Chelsea, like that Martinelli goal on the counter. We are good, but can we hold out for long periods of time with City attacking us wave after wave? Because we know that's how they like to play. Chris says we should sign Aubameyang down to a new deal and focus more on offloading Lacazette for a deal for Partey. Martinelli and Nketiah play the second striker role. We need this contract signed. Of course, Arteta was talking about Nketiah as well and how he's going to play a major role, So he was saying all these young players are going to be playing a lot of football from now till the end of the season. So you're going to see a lot of these young players really figuring a lot, and the squad getting used a lot. Arteta was saying it today in the press conference. Charlie 101 says, Man City should thrive with no fans. They're used to that. The Etihad, everybody's saying that. They're going to thrive without no fans because they're a very, very good team. And as we've seen in the German league, very, very good teams, when there's no fans for the opposition to sometimes maybe push that opposition on at 10%, especially when the opposition sometimes are playing at home to those very good teams. those very good teams win the game. Dear G says, hi Robbie, why can't Arsenal put a deal on the table for Aubameyang? If he stays on the same wages for another year, when the high earners leave, he gets a mega deal on wages. Well, I've also suggested a similar thing, and it makes sense that even if they couldn't offer him that big money this year, if they said to him, well, when, next year when Ozil's gone, we'll make that up. I don't know, man. I just get it done. I don't know why they can't just get this deal done. Doesn't seem, on the face of it, it doesn't seem that difficult, because it does seem, from what Aubameyang's been saying, that he would like to stay, and Arteta wants him. What's the impasse? Kingsley says the old Arsenal wouldn't be able to sign Pepe and Martinelli. Call me a believer, but I feel this Arsenal can make a real effort to keep Aubameyang, Lacazette, and get Partey and Upamecano. Well, if they do that, then we're starting to see us turn the corner. Then I'm starting to believe. I think, and that's why I think the whole Aubameyang thing is such an important deal to get sorted out, because of the message that it sends to the fans, to other clubs, and to prospective players who might want to come here that, Arsenal ain't that selling club no more. They're going to hold on to their best players. Ilyas says, evening, Robbie. When we beat Man City 2-0 away, we allowed them to dominate us, and we had everyone behind the ball, and we were dangerous on the counter-attack. Should have a similar style against them. That was quite a few years ago. But yes, you're right. We did that day, play that style. That is the way to beat them. But it involves some very good defending, because they will exploit any mistakes. So it involves the defense to be solid. Can our defense be solid for 90 minutes in a game against Manchester City? That is the question. Nicholas says, Arteta being an ex-coach, I think, is a big X factor. Every time Patriots play against an ex-coach coach, we lose. He said, supporting from New England. Well, let's hope that can be a factor, that the pupil goes there and turns over the teacher. We'll have to wait and see. Govin says, hi, Robbie. Loving this content. Quick question. Do you think that us signing both Partey and Upamecano puts us in a good position next season for us to survive the drop? I think we survived the drop with those two. Yeah. I think what it is with those two, listen, even if we did get those two, they're going to have to, you're still going to need experienced players there, because they're going to have to assimilate into the league, right? But as I said, it would be exciting, wouldn't it? It would send a good message to the fans. They're exciting signings, and anything that sorts that defense out, because it's been so bad for way too long now. Carlito says, what's good, Robbie? I think this was a clear message from Aubameyang to the board that they must invest. You don't want to spend his last contract in the Europa. Yes, there's also the element of that it could be interpreted of him saying that I want to see what happens from now till the end of the season. Yeah, there is an element of that, but I'm still looking on it, and I'm saying to myself, Aubameyang himself, and he said himself that this is like a very, very big deal for him. He has to be careful. Options are running out for him as well. There's not those loads of big teams at the moment that have got a lot of money to spend, so he's a captain. You're a big club like Arsenal. Stay and make history. Mr. Celtic 12 says, hi, Robbie. As a Celtic fan, I feel black centre-back get labelled as clumsy and bomb-scared more than teammates who are white. Is this the same at Arsenal? Well, we haven't got like a black centre-back at the moment. And in fact, well, I'm trying to think of one of the last black centre-backs we had. Sol Campbell was very, very good. But you do hear those things sometimes being labelled at black players. Again, these labels that are put on, unfounded. I just like to judge a player off of the player. Black, white, Asian, whatever you are. I just want you to be good and perform for my team. End of. And that's how it should be. Ali Mohammed says, I'll be over the moon if we keep Aubameyang and get both Partey and Upamecano. Big up, Don Robbie. Love from Pakistan. Well done to Big up from Pakistan. Those will be, listen, it's exciting to hear about those signings, but I think we still got a way to go to get those deals done. But they're doable deals. Partey and Upamecano, when you check it out, when you see the sort of money they're going for, are not impossible deals for Arsenal to get done this summer. If, say, the owner put in a bit of his money, let's say you put in 50, 60 million, and then you sell a few players, you know, get like a, because what, Upamecano 50 million, 40 millions, for Partey, recoup back about, say, 30 million in the transfer window. Why is it not doable? Jay MacArthur says, Wengerish, he's just sounding hopeful and not really saying what's going on. Maybe looks worried. After all, he said, if you're not 100% committed, go. It's the owners, Raul, and them, not on Arteta positivity. Yes, he did say that, didn't he? He said that, if you're not 100% committed to Arsenal and stuff like that, you should go. That's what Arteta said. But he's also said that, he speaks to Aubameyang all the time. They've got a good relationship. And from what he's said to him and what he's seen, he's very happy at the club. We have sort of heard things like this before, though. So till it's signed, it's not signed. Arnav says, Robbie, my friend, is a big City fan, and he did a voodoo against Arsenal to make them lose. Well, you know what? That voodoo might just spin back round on him, tell him to wind them thing there, right? Walcott LK says, hi, Robbie, this is my first time here. Love Arsenal. We will win from TNT, Trinidad and Tobago. Big up. Well, your first time here. Let's hope you've come with some good vibes and that we do win. That'd be incredible. MH Cuban says, do you think we will be able to beat City if they don't play their full squad? In the concern, they are not fit enough yet. They've got a brilliant squad. Brilliant squad, And, as I said in that, if you watch that preview video I did with esteemed company, he said they're all fit. Laporte's fit now. Earlier in the season, they're going, oh, Laporte's been out. That's why the defence has been falling apart, blah, blah. He's fit. Leroy Sané's fit as well. They've got Mahrez. They've got Bernardo Silva, David Silva. They've got De Bruyne, Sterling, Guerrero, Jesus, Fernandinho. They've got an unbelievable squad, unbelievable squad. So, how many? Even if they rest their first team squad, the second team's probably good enough to beat Arsenal. They've got an unbelievable squad. They've got Phil Foden, can't even get a game. He walk into almost every other team, Oibek says, hi, Robbie, 0-1 or 1-2. We will definitely win this. 100% sure. Bro, thanks for everything you do for the fans with AFTV. Thank you very much. And I hope you are right on those predictions. Lewis says, haha, no, Robbie. You don't remember us players like De Jure. Oh, yeah, De Jure. Yeah, he did used to get a lot of stick. And Gallas. Gallas brought a lot of that stick on himself. Nah, the Gallas thing, I'm not putting that down to no form of colour or nothing like that. At that time, when he sat on that pitch, even me, I was ripping him. I was like, get up, man. You watch that Michael Jordan documentary and then you watch that scene when Gallas just literally, almost like he gave up just sitting on that pitch that day. That was terrible. Never forget that. Horrible. Alvan says, before bringing the players in, we have to change the mentality of the players we already have. Look at what Klopp did. Slow and steady progress with a squad gradually developing into a winning mentality. Of course, we have to change the mentality of the players. You know, it's not been good enough, and a lot of times in these type of games, we've just, you know, waved the white flag. And you know what? If you look at it and you trace a lot of games against the top six, we've got an awful record against those top teams. When was the last time we won at Spurs? Ages ago. When was the last time we won at Chelsea? When was the last time we won at City? I think it's at 2014 or something. Last time we won at Liverpool. Manchester United, all right, we've drawn there a few times, but we haven't won at none of these places for ages. That suggests to me, because we've been to some of these places and we've had moments where we've been playing well. But that suggests to me that mentally, the mentality is not always right. They give up too easily. They go down and then heads drop. But I'm hoping that Arteta is changing that, and the signs are encouraging. What encouraged me was the 2-2 draw against Chelsea. And I know a lot of people look back at that and, you know, they'll laugh and they go, oh, look at them getting, you know, they forgot that they drew the game. They didn't win. Now, the reason why a lot of fans were very happy that day, and it's the mentality that the team showed. They were down to 10 men, losing, and they came back twice in that game, right? And I think the mentality that was shown in that game was brilliant. That's what I want to see from an Arsenal team. You can come up against a team sometimes that's better than you, but don't go down waving the white flag. You know? Give it everything. And I just think that there's been games over the years against some of those. I remember going to Liverpool, and you know, Liverpool's a team that come out and they blitz you. We just folded like a pack of cards. It was terrible. And that's happened at City before as well. So I want to see some fight from this team, and I think Arteta's bringing that. Chad says, bless up Robbie, Trilly Guna. Always the focus with the Arsenal on selling at the moment. We have a group of youngsters to develop. We do have the potential to reverse things. Experience is the greatest teacher. Well, we've got to learn. We've got to learn from the experiences. Shantu also reminding me of some of the other players that I forgot. He goes, they've got Rodri, Gundogan, Mahrez. That's what I'm saying, man. They've got, this squad is unbelievable. Unbelievable squad. Elliot says, greetings from Toronto. Great show. Who would you like to see come to the midfield for next season? Listen, Coutinho on loan would be a good shout for that midfield, you know? Goal-scoring midfielder, I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. And doable again, because it's a loan, you know? So why not? Why not? Fever05 says, Robbie, best memories of away games at City. Also, were you at the game when Adebayor scored and ran the length of the pitch? I wasn't actually at that game. I watched it. I was like, I couldn't believe when Adebayor done that. You know, it was totally out of order. Turns out later on, he said that he did a lot of it through frustration because he never wanted to leave Arsenal. And the fans blamed him. And that was completely the wrong thing to do, to run the full length of the pitch. How he never got strung up that day by some Arsenal fans and it killed him, I don't know. But, you know, that was terrible. And my best memories away at City's got to be that one where we won 2-0. Because that's the only time we've done decently against City in recent times. Chris Lord says this is technically another free hit. If it's a loss, no biggie. Personally, I think rusty draw, full of mistakes. These first four clubs are going to get one big advantage. Lockdown, Pepe's time to shine is my punt. I don't know if it's a free hit. DT was saying that to me the other day. I don't know about free hit because we really need to hit the ground running because to have any chance of getting into the top four, we got to perform. We need to win, and you know, I think if we could take a point from that game, that would be a great result. He says, yo, Don Robbie, what day is the Bias Premier League show? That's coming out tomorrow. Also, when is a sound clash with DT? Much love from the Sri Lankan Guna. Yeah, me and DT going to have to do this. So I'm going to have to put this guy in his place, man. You know, man chatting about sound clash. What does he know about sound clash? Kimar Gunners. Hey, he says, hey, Robbie, Jamaican Guna. Yeah, Jamaican. Kimar, talk to this boy at DT. I want him know about sound clash. You know what I mean? I want them boy to know about clash. But anyway, we are going to get that done. We will get that done. Don't worry. I'm going to teach you a lesson. But he says, hey, Robbie, Jamaican Guna here. You never read my comment. People overreact. The Brentford loss, it's a friendly. I think the City game will be close. And sign Aubameyang and Partey and one experienced centre-back. Well, I've read it now, Kamar. People did overreact to that Brentford thing. There's been other teams. Tottenham lost to Norwich in a friendly. Manchester United lost one half of a game to West Brom. You know, it's a friendly. You know what I mean? It's about. But the reason why we were getting so much stick over that friendly is because some people were getting too excited when we won that first friendly 6-0. Brethren thing. Yeah, it's not the real game. It's not the real hardcore, you know. Win Wednesday night 6-0. Jesus. Do you imagine that? Not in my lifetime. Amir says, for the City lineup, I expect the unexpected since players have been away for so long and only Arteta has seen them play. I'd love Laka to start. Again, you might see a different lineup to the norm for Man City, but whatever lineup it is, they're so good. It's going to be a good team. And I don't buy this thing that they'll be half-cooked. This guy, Pep Guardiola, always prepares his teams well, so I can't see it. Robbie, your best top 5 AFTV fan cams. Ty saying it's raining, that was one. Ty on Paul Merson, Chris Hudson, or Claude ranting about pizza eating fans. They've all been classic. I can't pick one out, man. There's been so many good classic videos. This guy says, Robbie, Liverpool will bottle the title. What? They've won the title already. If they can, if they do, can you give me your shirt from your merch store? Do we have a deal? Also, keep up the good work. Listen, if Liverpool don't win the title, right, which the only way they could not win the title would be for there to be a second wave and the league to be called off and they just say it was void. If Liverpool don't win the title, I'll give you more than just a shirt. I'll give you, what have I got here? I'll give you a couple £100. There's no way Liverpool are not going to win the title. Come on, they've won. They only got to win 2 games. And that's without nobody else slipping up. Come on, they're going to win it easy. Liverpool, you know, they've won it. They've won it in all but name. Winfred says, Robbie, did you see Aubameyang being linked with Villa? For the City game, we need Kelechi to do some juju on City and Pep. I'm sure he's done that already. He was only linked with Villa because Prince William, who's a Villa fan, was asking him, why don't you come to Villa if you leave Arsenal? Very cheekily, the Prince. What's he dealing with, man? MSG4403 says, what would the emotional outcome be, Robbie, if the game resulted in a 0-0 result? That'd be a great result for me. Does it have to be a win for it to be a happy outcome? I'd rather take that than a good performance with a battering. Listen, 0-0, 1 point in that game for me would represent an excellent result for Arsenal. A win would be an unbelievable result. A draw would be a very good result for Arsenal and set them up for the rest of the games that are coming up. Because nobody, you know, listen, I speak to a lot of neutral fans. They're not giving us a chance. We ain't got a prayer in that game. And if you look at our record against City, you can see why. We've been terrible against City recently. So a draw I would take right now. Seriously, I would. Josh says Leicester City is the only team I know who haven't brought success. No, Leicester City, full credit to them, man. They've been brilliant again. You know, I mean, they've got a plan. That's what Arsenal need to do. You have to have a plan for success. You know. Guna Gamer TV says, big up Captain Don Robbie. Arsenal takes so long to get contracts over the line. It gives other clubs time to sort out their deals and come sniffing around our deals, even if it's just to run the price up. I think you're right. I do not know. As I said, one of the things Arteta said is because of the coronavirus thing, it's slowed down getting contracts sorted out. Been at home for 3 months. You know, why has that slowed things down? You know, do a Zoom call. Lawyers are still working. You know, I'm not buying that, man. That should have been sorted out already. Should have been sorted out already. And I'm just disappointed that it's taken so long. But it will be okay if it all gets done. I just want to get this deal done. Get that out of the way so we're not talking about Aubameyang anymore, and let's just try and get the season, try and finish as high as we possibly can. David says, hi, Sheikh Robbie. Great show. I've got my calculator out and worked out the wages of the two teams. Comes up as an error. We're going to do this. I think I've got everyone going with that calculator stuff the other day, and accountant stuff. I mean, I was down by the ground today, and there's a couple of people reminding me of that as well. Faisal says, why are people so negative? Even Robbie. Man United beat them home and away. Wolves beat them home and away. Even Spurs beat them recently. I know they're good, but they aren't going to play with 15 players. Faisal, you've got a good point. You have got a good point. You know what I mean? You're right. They haven't beaten Norwich, beat them as well, you know? But when was the last time we beat them? And that's the thing, you know what I mean? That's what, you know, it's a lot of it, Faisal's up here with our team. It's up here. Because if all them teams can beat them, I mean, look at how United deserved to beat City. They played brilliantly in that game. And we turned over United. So why can't we go up there? And for me, it would send an unbelievable message to the fans and to the rest of the Premier League if Arsenal went up there and got a result. Is saying that, you know what, this guy Arteta is going to turn us around. So you're right. But the reason for the negativity, Faisal, is just look at our record there. It's been terrible. Absolutely terrible. Man United got a very good record against Man City. It's a local derby. They've done well against them. We haven't. Andre says Arsenal is a mid-table team, but I didn't say they are not a big team anymore. We are a big team that's underperforming at the moment. Site says Arsenal need to have a 5-year progress plan on how we win the league. A club like Arsenal should win a league title in every 5-year period. A club like Arsenal, what I say is a club like Arsenal should be competing for the league every year, or almost every year. We should, at the minimum, be competing for the league, right? And for the very long time now, we haven't. LMG Bros 74 says, yo, Robbie, love from Western. Do you follow the academy much? I feel we have so much quality in there. And just like Saka, they come in and improve the squad depth. For example, yeah, Mike, he scored 17 goals. Listen, we've got a very good academy. But at the moment, we need some very good top quality squad players to add to that squad as well. South African Guna says, hi, Don. Robbie, would Thomas Partey finally be our Vieira replacement? And I'll take a draw at City. That's a very high bar to reach, man. Vieira was absolutely exceptional. Possibly at some stage, you could argue like one of the best defensive midfield. Well, he was even a defensive midfielder. He was an all-round brilliant midfielder. He was one of the best in the world. Is Thomas Partey one of the best in the world? I wouldn't say that, not yet, but he's a very good player. One of the top defensive midfielders in Europe, and would definitely add to Arsenal's team. But he's got a long way to go to be Vieira. But we've been looking for that Vieira type player ever since Vieira left. We haven't been able to find it. Eric says, Robbie, it has taken long because we have a stingy board that do not want to pay players the wages they deserve, like Aubameyang. Plus, where is the ambition? I don't know why this is taking it's taken far too long for me. Far too long. Dungeon Master says, hey, Robbie, Coutinho loan, but he wants to go to Liverpool. Sources, thoughts on that? I heard a little rumour, but I can't see Liverpool taking him back on loan. That would really surprise me if they did that. I mean, they've got a completely different way of playing now that since he's moved on. I can't see that. I really can't see that. Abe says, but you guys are City's whipping boys. Last time you beat City in the league was 2015, and the aggregate score is 20-7. All right, mate. Let's remind us of that. Disband says, Robbie, I think Lacazette should start against City. He's a big game player, and his hold-up play will be crucial to get some positive stuff. There's been, and you'll see some of the videos that we got coming out with starting 11. Troop's done a starting 11. Claude and Ty did a starting 11. I did a one. I think I'd start with Lacazette as well. I mean, not everybody's agreeing with me, and you'll see on these starting 11s. But because again, I agree with you, Dispan. You need someone who's going to hold the ball up and keep that ball up top against Man City, because we ain't going to have a lot of it. So it's very important when that ball goes up front, it sticks. And that's why I would have Lacazette in there. I can see the thinking behind having Martinelli in there, in that he works so hard, he'll get up and down the pitch. But also remember, you can use 5 substitutes. So you can always bring on, you can always look later on to bring on Martinelli, Eddie Nketiah, people like that with lots of energy and pace. But I think my personal thing, I think I'll be starting with Lacazette. Isaac says, hi, Robbie. Do you think Axel Disasi would be a better signing than Upamecano? I haven't seen enough of Disasi. I only seen little bits and bobs, YouTube bits. Looks good. Had some reports on him. They said he's played well. But Upamecano, to me, I think, yes, he would suit Arsenal. Jim Bauer says, would you take a 2-1 loss to City if every Arsenal player gave 120% and battled their balls off and you saw a massive improvement? Well, I don't want any loss. You know what I mean? I don't want any loss, but I want to see that as a minimum, Arsenal battling 120%. That should be a minimum when you put that Arsenal shirt on. Ola says Manchester City were defeated this season by teams not better than Arsenal. Remember that. They are quite beatable, and if anyone should know how to do it, it's Arteta. Let us all believe 2-1 to the Arsenal. Hope you are right. Hope you are right. Hooked Player says, hi, Robbie. Who do you think is our best youngster at the moment? I think that's Martinelli. Sasa says Martinelli will do well in the future. Then he will run down his contract in typical Arsenal fashion and leave on a free. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully, the ambition of this club changes and we lock guys like that down. Abhinav says, Robbie, if we are planning a counter-attack, then what's the point in hold-up play? We don't need to start Lacazette. You do. Listen, in counter-attack ain't just lob it over the top, fast players spin and run onto it. Counter-attack can be get it up to a Lacazette. He holds it up, feeds it off to the left or the right. Pepe bombs on. He then bombs on into the box and finishes it off. I'd start Lacazette. He scored in the last 2 friendlies. He scored in our last game before the lockdown. I'd start him. His form's picking up. Habib says, would you take Maresh Kumbala or from Hellas Verona if we can't get Upamecano? And can you come and visit Pakistan, please? Would love to. this Marash Kumbala, I'm not seeing enough of him to say I've seen a lot more of Upamecano. Listen, there's other good centre backs around. That it's the scouting network got to get themselves in gear and get out there and fight. If it's not Upamecano, the guy who I'd love to get in, I'll say it all the time, would be Koulibaly, even though he's 29 now. But every time I see that guy, man, he is just so good. I mean, I think it's between him and Van Dijk as who's the best. Who is the best centre back right now in Europe? He is exceptional. Ali Mohammed says, "Do you think Torreira will be fit to play against City? To be honest, if we beat City, it will be a miracle." Torreira hasn't played in any of the warm-up games. So I don't know if that's going to work against him. He's saying that, he sent those pictures out. He said he's fit, but is he match fit? So I doubt we will see him play. Maybe he'll be on the bench. Maybe in time for the Brighton game, he might start in that. Pabalo says, "Hi, Don Robbie. Why not start in Nketiah and Willock? They could start. Even though they were friendlies, they still perform, and it gave it their all. Something we'll need against City. I'll tell you who's got a big shout for starting in that game is Willock. Played very well in the friendlies, scored in both of them. It's got that energy to get up and down the pitch. We're going to need a player in that midfield that's going to be able to stop your De Bruyne's and people like that and help to keep it compact. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Willock started that game. Do not be surprised if Willock starts that game. Because he possibly deserves to start." Sebastian says, "I'd start Lacazette because he's on form, and when Lacazette is on form, he tends to do well. Needs to score though against one of these big teams away." Mr. R says, "Robbie, do you think we should get Ben Rama? He can start like Hazard did at Chelsea. He has huge potential. He does, but I don't think that's what we need right now. Again, that's not what we need right now, in my opinion. We've got a lot of players who can play in that same position." Lazio F7 says, "As an Arsenal fan, I know we can beat City and get a good performance, but we could end up getting battered by Brighton. We need players with balls. We need to step up and live up to our badge with pride. Come on, you Gunners. 100%. You can't. We are a team that could do something like that." Member 23 says, "Even though Koulibaly is 29, he speaks French and would be perfect to help to develop Saliba into a world-class centre-back. Spend the peas." Honestly, to me, I don't know who you guys think's better, whether it's him or Van Dijk, right? But that guy is unbelievable. No wonder they want so much money for him, right? The only person I see similar is Van Dijk. There are some other, very good defenders, obviously, in Europe, but he's a real. Every time I see him, he's so strong. He's so solid. It's so hard to get past him. Really, it's quality. Unknown Driller says, "Robbie, remember Arsenal and Arteta were one of the forces lobbying City ban to be upheld. They will take no prisoners." Laugh out loud. Yeah, listen, City. I don't think they'd be taking any prisoners anyway. So I don't think that's going to be a factor. Torbath says, "Robbie, I think Arsenal should really use Nelson. Again, he could get on. Reece Nelson could get onto the pitch again as well. He could be another one of the changes. 5 subs, remember, who's often gone under the radar. He's someone we should really use over this period. Also, massive respect to the Arsenal youngsters. It's very hard. It is very hard to make it. Reece Nelson, big end of the season for Reece Nelson. If he plays really, really well, then he could figure a lot next season. If he doesn't play well, they might think, well, he ain't ready yet. We'll send him out on loan. He needs a big finish to the season. He's a very talented boy. Let's hope he can produce it." Ains 109 says, "If we finish in a Champions League spot, I'd like to see some ambition from Arsenal. Put in a bid for Isco. No mention Isco for a while. He'd be perfect for us. I don't know. Isco, a couple of years ago, I was like, get Isco, get Isco, get Isco. I don't know now if there's some other players that have emerged younger and hungrier than Isco, you know? Like that. I do like that Jose Moret, who's at Lyon. He looks quality, you know? But then Isco would be better than what we got, so why not? That'd be a shout, definitely. Joe Mawata says, yo, Robbie, when Aubameyang said that in his interview, he is probably debating in challenging in the bigger competitions and not being the main guy, but in a better team to stay at Arsenal and continue to play good to be a captain, but the trophy cabinet rot for many a year. His choice. Stay at Arsenal. It's not like he's a player that's never won a trophy. He's won a trophy, at Dortmund. Stay at Arsenal, you're the captain, lead Arsenal back to big things, you know? That's what I'd like to see him do. That's what I really, really would love to see him do. Karen says, hello, Robbie, please see this. Do you think Arsenal could win the FA Cup? Definitely a chance. That way, Arteta can demand more money from the board after winning a trophy in his first year of his career. Well, we forget about the FA Cup, and that's a shout. And we should go for that as well. Definitely go for that. Abhinav says, Robbie, why don't we have the courage to make an expensive deal like Pepe installments to get any of the current best centre-backs like Koulibaly? We never spent big on defenders, and that's very true. Would have been, listen, Koulibaly to come to Arsenal with no Champions League football, I don't think it wouldn't be a money thing then. I don't think he'd come because we're not in the Champions League, and a guy of that quality deserves to be playing in the Champions League. But certainly, we've never wanted to go really, really big on a centre back, and I don't know why. It's an important position, as Liverpool have showed that. Mark Garrett says, is it Margaret pronounced or Mark Garrett? Says, come to Zimbabwe. A camera guy, Tao, originally from Zimbabwe. He says, what do you think of Thiago Silva to increase our discipline defensively? Could he be the answer to our defensive problems? He's too old. Too old. Quality player, but he's 35. Why do you think PSG are offloading him? Because they've probably seen that he's, I saw how Haaland dealt with him earlier on in the season. It's just age is catching up with him. You know what I mean? A bit of the pace has gone. This guy says Robbie Hussam Aouar is going to Man City. Apparently in Manchester. He posted a pic of him in a private jet at the airport. He wants to go to City. How many more flipping midfielders they gonna have? He's quality. Again, that would be another quality signing. But money. David 3432 says, thanks, Robbie, for the great content from over here in Singapore. Who do you think is the most underrated Arsenal player from a rival's perspective? I think Leno. You know what? Definitely Leno. I speak to a lot of fans and they're like, yeah, away fans are like, Leno, yeah, he makes a lot of mistakes, so he's not that good. Okay, you mad? Leno, apart from Aubameyang, Leno's been our best player this season. Could argue Martinelli, obviously, but how good has Leno been this season? Yeah, he's very underrated. Very, very underrated. Willow says, wouldn't mind Decore coming to Arsenal. Again, that's another quality player that I think he'd be good. I'd rather have Partey, though, but a good player. David says, Robbie, would you take Zuma or Christensen from Chelsea as they look to sell players to... Why are we... Stop telling me about these cast-off players from Chelsea. No. I don't want Christensen. I don't want Zuma. And to my opinion, they're not really better than what we've got. Nah. No. No more Chelsea rejects, man. Mr. R says, what's your prediction for the season? Can we make the Champions League? I've had enough of the Europa League, me too. And not even winning it. I want us to get back at Chelsea for last season. there's a possibility, outside possibility of a top 5. Top 4, I think, is going to be too hard. Too many things we'd have to go on an unbelievable run, and then, you know, we're going to have to hope a lot of teams slip up. But top 5 is doable. Got to start by beating City. Right, last couple I'm going to do here tonight. Pisa says, love you, Lord Don Sultan. Don Sheikh Robbie says, a United fan, keep up the good work. I'm sure United fans will be hoping that we get a win over City. Actually, no, they won't be hoping we get a win over City. Because obviously they're trying to get top 4 as well. So they'll probably be hoping that City do them a favour. But respect anyway, Pisa. And as I said, what am I going to get for the last one? Jimmy Bernal says, Robbie, Jim from NYC, New York City. Here we have to sell the deadweight defenders. We will never get anywhere with subpar defenders. And you are right. You know, we do need to get rid of some of those defenders if we're to hit the heights. Definitely. All right. There's like so many more comments coming in. I'm going to do 2 more. 2 more. Chadwick says, do you think if we lose Aubameyang could have convinced Peter Crouch to come out of retirement? He probably want too much money. And last one here. Oh, this is a Spurs fan. I can see by his end of bad boy. Says, hi, Robbie. In Arsenal's last 5 games against City, Koscielny is the top scorer for Arsenal with 1 goal. I expect City to win 6-0. But they might have a bad game and only win 3-1. Well, listen, bro. Concentrate on your own game. You got a tough game as well against Man United. And that's going to be a very tough game. It's very tight for those European places, should I say. I should maybe top 4 European places. Tottenham have been on a poor run. You guys have been a bit lucky now that you've got, obviously, Harry Kane and Son back. But that's a tough game to start off with against United. I think United are going to sort you lot out. I really do. So worry about your own game, bro. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow with another AFTV News Daily. We've got loads of content coming out tomorrow. We've got a preview. We've got a few previews. We've got starting 11s. We've got so much great content. Make sure you check it out. Vice Premier League shows out tomorrow as well. We've also today got an excellent preview that we've done with the Man City channel, esteemed company. Make sure you check that out as well. Check out all of our brilliant content. And then on the day of the game, we're going to be doing a watch along. It's going to be a watch along with a difference, a socially distanced watch along on the game. You've got to check that out. More details of that later on. And also, we're giving you a chance to send us in your videos of you watching the game and you reacting to whatever happens, and also of you sending in your reactions to the game, what you thought of it, how you thought it went. Make sure you send that in after the game to AFTV content@gmail.co.uk. Send it in to us, and the best ones are going to go up into some videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.